class is a restorative version of a yoga flow, of sun salutation. You might have heard of it, Surya Namaskar. So it's really nice sometimes to do movement in a flow so that you can really just get into the movement, you can concentrate on how it feels in your body, and it almost becomes a little bit like meditation, like a moving meditation. So I do sometimes like to do these yoga flows. The problem with yoga is, and as you know, I am a yoga teacher as well, sometimes we can be tempted to go too far in some of the movements and become unstable. So often if you don't have the strength or the stability for a particular move, you probably shouldn't be taking your body there. So that's why I have kind of stripped down this sun salutation, put in some more restorative bits and pieces, and taken out some of the more injury causing poses. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through some of the poses. We're going to kind of break them down, make sure that you're happy with them, you know the alignment points, and then we'll start to flow through them, and then right at the end we'll just do some nice stretching to kind of cool down, stretch everything out and relax at the end. So I hope that you enjoy. Come to standing first. Let's have feet hip width apart. Have a look at the outside edges of your feet. As always, get them as straight as you can. And then back your weight up through your heels. So when you're back your weight up through your heels, see if you can relax the fronts of your thighs. So notice if you're really like locking those knees and gripping really tight here, can you let your kneecaps relax so that you're using glutes and hamstrings rather than quads? Finding that neutral pelvis, letting your ribs relax down. Arms down by your sides, looking into the distance and thinking about growing tall through the top of your head. Let's take a few breaths here. Getting as much air in as you can with each inhale. And as you exhale, noticing anywhere that you're holding and trying to let it go. Do that a couple more times. Deep breath. And when you exhale, just let it go. Think about really firmly rooting your feet into the ground and growing tall through the crown of your head. So looking for that length throughout your whole body. Let's do one more time. From here we're going to do some hip hinges. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see. Still feet hip width apart. You're just going to fold from your hip and then come back up. Remember, we want to keep our weight back through our heels. So you shouldn't be feeling this as any pressure or anything in your lower back, because it should all be glutes and hamstrings. Keep your weight back through your heels, couple more here. And then we're going to hold it when we come forwards this time, hold it here. You place your hands on your thighs here, so we've got a flat back, hands on your thighs. Think about sending your sit bones directly away from you. And then if it feels okay for you, allow your spine then to round down. So you're going to roll all the way down. Now if rounding down doesn't feel good to you, then you can stay in that flat back position. But we're just going to hang here for a moment. You nod your head like you're saying yes, and shake your head side to side like you're saying no, no tension, no holding anywhere. Okay, we're going to come back up to that halfway point again, so start to roll yourself up, find your hands back on your thighs again and find that flat back position. Nice, and then let's just round forwards again. Again, head just dangling, nod your head, shake your head, let your arms just hang free. You do little circles with your arms in this position. So arms are just hanging and we're just circling them around. Just think about your arm bone just moving freely in your shoulder socket. And then from here, we're going to come all the way down to the floor. So bend your knees as much as you need to get your hands down, and then come all the way down onto your hands and knees. Turn around. Down onto hands and knees. Okay. As always, fingers are spread really wide. Get as much space between your fingers as you can, and then point your thumbs towards each other. Can you get those elbow pits forwards? And you can have your toes tucked or tops of your feet flat on the floor, whichever feels better for you. Let's do some rhomboid push-ups here. So shoulder blades are going to squeeze together, and then shoulder blades are going to press really wide. Shoulder blades squeeze and press wide. Let's get as much movement as we can through those shoulders. Paying attention to the position of your head. So we want length through the back of your neck. So notice if you're trying to look forwards, how horrible that feels.
Try and have that nice long back of your neck so that your eyes are down looking at the mat between your hands. Couple more. Little shoulder squeeze and release here. And then we're just going to come off our hands for a minute. So just give your hands a little shake out. And do your little circles of your hands. Just give your wrists a little release. And do that both ways. We're going to go back onto hands and knees again. So give them a little shake out again. We're going to do our rhomboid push-ups next. So come back onto hands and knees. Same thing, fingers spread wide. Thumbs point towards each other and elbow pits are forwards. Okay, so find that nice stable position where your shoulder blades aren't squeezing together. They're not really wide apart. They're kind of halfway between those 2 points and they're flat against your back of your rib cage. And then can you, from there, bend your elbows so that your elbows are going to point towards your knees and then straighten your arms back up. And you can make this movement as small or as big as you like. But what I want you to pay attention to is 1, elbows are pointing to your knees, not out to the sides. 2, your bottom's staying still and it's not travelling back towards your feet as you bend your elbows. And then the third and the hardest piece is where are your shoulder blades going? So as you bend your elbows, are your shoulder blades coming in towards your spine? Can you keep your shoulder blades in that wide, stable position? And that's really tricky. So that might limit the range of movement that you have. So just do a couple more and then we'll come off our hands again. So it's not about how low you go, it's not about getting all the way down to the mat, it's about keeping all of those pieces in place and then come off your hands again. Give them a little shake out. And it might be that today you're just going to work on keeping the elbow pits forwards and keeping the elbows pointing back towards you. And you don't have to work on all of the bits all together. Let's do reverse prayer hands. Bring the backs of your hands together. Get your thumbs to touch. Can you pull your thumbs away from the rest of your fingers while still keeping them touching? And then keeping the backs of the hands touching, can you start to lower your hands down? Take a couple of breaths there. Notice if your fingers are like burrowing a hole through your chest. Can you turn your hands away from you a little bit, just so that they're not pressing it, so you're not trying to point your hands the other way, but just so they're not digging straight into your chest. And then notice, are your elbows trying to help? Are your shoulders coming up to try to help? Can you let all of that just be as relaxed as possible? And then gently, gently, come off there, give your fingers a little wriggle. Give your hands a little shake. Elbow tucks in by your side, turn your palm up to face the ceiling. Using your other hand, we're going to pull the fingers back. And then doing each finger in turn. And you can do different combinations of fingers if you want to. Just finding the bits that feel like they need a little bit more of a stretch. Give them a wriggle, do the same on the other side, palm faces up. Using your other hand to pull the fingers back. And then gently pulling each finger in turn. Again, you can do your different combinations there if that works for you. Give them a wriggle. Thumbs up. Grab your thumb right at the base with your other hand, so try and really hold at the base. And just move your thumb around in all directions. Just give the thumb a little bit of attention. And then do the same on the other side. Thumbs up. Grab your thumb and move it around. Okay. So we're going to come back to our flow work now. We're going to go for a lunge next. So when you're ready, come on up to kneeling. And we're going to step one leg forwards into that lunge position. Now taking a minute to get your alignment right here. So you're noticing that leg that's gone forwards, has that hip had to hike up? So as your leg comes forward, does it knock your alignment off? Can you try and get those hip bones level-ish? And then notice, is your pelvis tipping forwards? Can you try and tuck your tailbone to bring your pelvis into a neutral position? So again, hip bones and pubic bone are on that same level and you haven't got that tilted forwards position. Yeah, so see if you can find that neutral position. And that might feel like quite a big stretch through the front of your hip. Can you then just gently send your whole pelvis slightly forwards and back? Let's just play with that a little bit, just going forwards and back. Again, your back foot, you can have top of the foot flat on the mat, or you can have your toes tucked, whichever feels better for you. And then keep our pelvis level. And then notice with your rib cage, as you go slightly forwards, is your back wanting to arch and your rib cage wanting to lift? Can you try and keep those ribs down so that your body is stacked, so your head, your shoulders, your rib cage are over your pelvis the whole time, and the whole thing is slightly shifting forwards. Let's do the other side. So switch your legs. Again, noticing whether you've had to hike one hip up higher than the other. Try and get that level, neutral pelvis. And then again, once you're happy, you're just going to shift forwards and backwards. And it's not a big movement. And remember, if you need to pad your knees, if your knees are not happy, get a cushion under your knee, roll your mat over a few times. There's nothing wrong with having a little bit of bolster in there if that helps your knees. Alright. Couple more. And then we're going to go back to that first side again. So we've got our pelvis level, we've got that slight tuck to bring us into neutral, making sure that that front leg is 90 degrees or more. So you don't want to have that foot too close to you. Not that there's anything wrong with that, and you can do that for some movements, but for this one we want to have a lot of space there. So notice if you're a little bit too close, whether you can step it a little bit more forwards. Get that little slight forwards of your pelvis, of your whole body, shifting slightly forwards to open out and feel that stretch on the hip. And we're going to add some arm circles here. So whichever leg is forward, that same side arm is going to reach forwards and really stretch as far forwards as you can. That arm is going to go up towards the ceiling. Now if you want to, you can take your head and your upper body with it. You're going to take that arm back behind you, so you're twisting to look at that arm behind you, sweep it down towards the mat, and we're going to go again. So starting to circle that arm. If you want to just have the arm moving and not your whole body, that's absolutely fine. When you come back to the front this time, we're going to reverse that and go the other way. So just reverse your circle. And again, you can make this as big or as small as you like. And then as you finish your 3 in each direction, you're going to step that leg back, and we're going to do the same on the other side. Again, always taking that moment to get you all set up so that you know you're in a really good position. Make sure you're happy with that front leg. Shifting slightly forwards. And again, opposite arm this time. It's going to reach forwards and up and back. So like I say, if for any reason your back's just not happy today or you don't want to twist, you can just do the arm and keep the rest of your body still. And that's kind of nice just to work on just shoulders, or you can add that whole body, whole upper body twist. So again, we're going to do 3 in each direction. When you've done all of those, you're going to step that leg back. We're going to go into child's pose. So you're going to take your bottom back towards your heels and reach your arms forwards here and just take a breath, allowing your body to just relax. Your hands now. Make sure that your hands are wider than shoulders, because we're going to come up and forwards. We're going to do that little child's pose to that little baby cobra from here. So hands are nice and wide, and we're going to come up onto all fours. Now if you don't want to go any further, then you can stay on all fours. If you're happy to go further, you're going to start to lower your hips towards the mat and lift your chest towards the sky. And then you're going to sit your bottom back towards your heels again, back into child's pose. I'm going to do that a few times. So when you're ready, coming forwards. Again, letting your hips lower towards the floor, lifting your chest towards the sky, and then sit your bottom back. So if you don't want to go all the way forwards, you absolutely come to all fours and then take your bottom back towards your heels. That's absolutely fine. You're just playing with the range that's available to you. Use your breath. Inhale to come forwards and exhale to go back. And it's nice and controlled here. So as you come forwards, you're not just dropping your hips to the mat and crunching your shoulder blades together. Think about that nice stable position of your shoulder blades where they're flat on the back of your rib cage? Can you keep your shoulder blades stable as you come forwards? And again, if you're struggling with that, then just don't come as far forwards and don't drop as low. Let's do one more time. And then as you go back into child's pose this time, hold it there for a moment. So we're going to come all the way down onto our front for back extension next. So when you're ready, come down onto your front. And we're going to have a play with different positions for your hands here. So let's have hands one on top of the other, resting your forehead down first. Okay, so as you inhale, I want you to press into your hands and lift the back of your head and your neck, and maybe lifting your chest just away from the floor and then lowering down. Just do a couple of those. Now often if you're tight through your shoulders, it doesn't particularly feel like you've got a lot of space. So now let's do a couple with the hands just in front of your shoulders, elbows are down by your side, and try a couple here. Again, as you inhale, you're going to press your hands into the floor and you're going to lift your head, your neck and your chest away from the floor and then lowering down. Try a couple there. And you can play around with having your hands wider and further forwards. Just playing with where does it feel like it's the most comfortable position for you. And then just do a couple more. And remember with these, you're wanting to feel this, working your shoulders and your upper back, not your lower back. So push yourself back into that rest position, back into child's pose. Let's just have a little moment there to stretch out the other way. Then go back into that back extension again. So when you're ready, come forwards again. So hopefully you've kind of figured out where feels okay for your hands to be. So pop your hands where you're happy. And then really thinking about feeling the work in your shoulders and your upper back. So if you were feeling it in your lower back, then I want you to really tuck your tailbone under. Maybe bring your legs a little bit further apart so you can have your legs squeezing together. You can have them hip width apart, or you can have them wider if you need to. But can you anchor your pubic bone and slightly tuck your tailbone so that your pelvis is really anchored and your lower back is kind of stretched out rather than compressed? Well, let's try a few of those little back extensions here. Keeping your pubic bone anchored, keeping that slight tuck of the tailbone, and trying to keep length through the back of your neck. And it doesn't matter how high you come, it's not about coming up super high. Can you do one more time? And then as you lower down this time, again, let's push up and back, go back into child's pose, release your lower back, and just take a few breaths there. Alright, from here we're going to come back up onto all fours. And we're going to go into downward facing dog here. So you're going to tuck your toes under. So can you tuck both toes under? And let's take a minute to think about our hands. So we still want fingers spread wide and as flat as you can to the floor. Thumbs pointing towards each other and elbow pits are forward so that your shoulders are in that external rotation. Yeah, they're not rolling in. And then from here, you're going to push into your feet, push into your hands and pike your bottom up towards the ceiling. And then can you bend one knee at a time and just pedal your feet? So if you need to come out of this at any time, then just do. But while you're here, so notice now your elbow pits aren't going to be facing directly forwards now, but still keep working to face them forwards rather than letting them roll all the way in to face your knees. So we still want to have that opening through the shoulders. Notice if your shoulders are up around your ears, can you kind of pull your shoulders? You're pulling them down your back, but it feels a little bit different when they are upside down. So can you kind of get space for your neck? All right, and then you're going to just come down onto your knees and just come off your hands again. Give your hands a little shake out. one of the things that I see a lot with that downward dog is that allowing the shoulders to roll in. Yeah, so you kind of get your setup right, and then as you go up, everything rolls in, and it's reinforcing this awful rounded position here. So you're going to really work to try and keep opening out your chest and shoulders. You're going to keep thinking about that elbow pit, trying to wrap it and open it out to give you more space here. The other thing to think about again is those shoulder blades. So often you kind of lose it when you're upside down a little bit. So notice when you're there, has everything just kind of collapsed? Can you find that stability? Can you find those shoulder blades anchored on your back? We're going to go into that again. Are you ready? Let's go back onto all fours. Get your hands set up. Tuck your toes under, and again, piking your bottom up towards the ceiling. And do that little pedal of the feet. Often it's nicer to kind of move in this position. So think about your arms and shoulders. Think about that wrapping of those elbow pits, trying to get them forwards. Let your head just hang here. So no tension through your neck. Have your eyes looking back towards your feet. Can you see those feet pedaling? How are they doing? And sticking your bottom up towards the ceiling. Where are those sit bones? Can you point them to kind of where the wall and the ceiling meets behind you? So really sticking your bottom up. Don't let it tuck under. All right, and then from here, you've got an option. Can you walk your toes towards your hands? You can bend your knees as much as you need to. And then can you roll yourself all the way back up to standing? Now if you're struggling to walk your feet towards your hands, you've got options. From that downward facing dog, you could walk your hands back and bend your knees and come up that way. But it's kind of nice to walk your feet towards your hands just to give you that little bit of a different kind of movement. Give your shoulders a little shake, just turn your head gently from side to side. Okay, so let's have a little play with that coming back up movement again, and then we'll start to add a little bit of flow there. So let's do our little hip hinge again, halfway, and then let's round all the way down. And soften your knees, so bend your knees and just kind of let your body just hang here. Okay. And then we're going to start to roll up. So start to roll up and start to open your arms out to the ceiling. As you come up, you're going to reach your arms all the way up, stretch and grow tall towards the ceiling. Bring your hands together over your head, and then bring your hands all the way down. And then just release your hands. Let's do that again. So we're going to roll all the way down. So come down, come down, come down. Now if you don't want to come all the way down, you can stay in that flat back position. You can do just the same here. So whether you're flat back or whether you're down, again you're going to soften your knees, you're going to start to roll yourself up, and you're going to start to open your arms out. As you come up, reach your arms up towards the ceiling, and then bring your hands down through centre, and then just release. Okay, let's flow. Let's kind of put it all together and see how we do with this. If you need to rest at any time, then rest. If you get lost, it doesn't matter. But all of those pieces that we've just played with, remember the bits that work for you. So where your hands are positioned, and all of those little bits and pieces. So let's come to stand kind of halfway up the mat. Gives you a little bit of space. Feet hip width apart. Arms just down by yourselves for a moment. And let's just, again, connect to breath. So take 3 really deep breaths here. Rooting your feet down into the floor, growing tall through the crown of your head, and just letting go of any tightness and any tension. Good. Letting go. All right, we're going to inhale. We're going to open our arms out and reach up towards the ceiling. Bring your hands together as you grow super tall. As you exhale, we're going to open the arms out and forward fold, so either staying in flat back or round all the way down. Soften your knees, let your body just hang over your legs. As you inhale, we're going to come up to that flat back. So slide your hands up your legs, find that flat back position, hold there for a moment, and then just round down again as you exhale. We're going to come down to all fours. Bend your knees as much as you need to bring your hands down, and then come down onto hands and knees for a rhomboid push-up. We're just going to do 3. All right, fingers wide, elbow pits forwards, 3 rhomboid push-ups, squeeze and press. Squeeze and press. Squeeze and press. We're going to do 4 arm push-ups now, keeping the elbow pits forwards. Can you bend your elbows and then straighten 3 times? As you come up this time, you're going to come off your hands, and we're going to step forwards into a lunge. Step one leg forwards. Find that neutral pelvis, make sure you're happy shifting slightly forwards. Whichever leg is forwards, that same side arm is going to reach forwards and up and back and circle around. We're going to do 3 times in each direction. Remember, you can just do the arm or you can add that upper body twist if you wish. When you've done your 3 on one side, you're just going to switch legs and do the same on the other side. Always taking a moment to make sure you're happy with your alignment, you're happy with your leg position, shifting slightly forwards, and again 3 circles with the arm. Don't lose your pelvis, don't allow your pelvis to tip. And when you've done 3 one way, you're going to do 3 the other way. Reach. Okay, and when you finish those, you're going to step your leg back and we're going to go back into child's pose. Take your bottom back towards your heels and reach your arms forwards. Just hold for a breath here. Checking there's enough space between your hands. We're going to come forwards into that baby cobra. Are you ready? As you inhale, let's come forwards, hips lower, chest lifts, or stay on all fours if you prefer. And then exhale back into child's pose. Go again. As you inhale, you're going to come forwards, nice stable shoulders, no collapsing, and exhale to take it back. One more time. And exhale back into child's pose and just hold there for a moment. Take a breath. We're going to come all the way down onto our front for back extension, so coming down. Again, remember which position works for you with your hands, pubic bone anchored, tailbone slightly tucked. When you're ready, we're going to do 3. You're going to inhale as you come up into your back extension, and you're going to exhale as you lower down. Just go at your own pace. And when you've done 3 of your back extension, you're going to push yourself up and back again into your child's pose. Holding for a breath, just your little reset. And then from here we're going to come forwards onto all fours. So come forwards onto all fours, tuck your toes, and we're going to go into that downward facing dog. Remember, elbow pits forwards as you pack your bottom up towards the ceiling and pedal your feet. Alright, we're going to see if we can walk those feet in. So you can have as much bend in your knees as you need to as you walk your feet towards your hands and then stay in that forward fold position. Hold here. Again, let's do that little halfway lift. So as you inhale, you're going to slide your hands up your legs, find that flat back position. And then exhale to round down again, soft knees. We're going to come all the way up and out this time. So as you inhale, start to roll up, start to open your arms out. Reach your arms towards the ceiling, bring your hands together overhead, and then exhale, bring your hands all the way down through centre and release. We're going to do that again. Okay, middle of your mat, feet hip width apart. Are you ready? We're going to inhale, we're going to open the arms out and reach up towards the ceiling, grow tall. Exhale, we're going to forward fold as you open your arms out and then round all the way down towards the floor, soft knees hanging over your legs. We're going to inhale again, find that flat back position, hands slide up your thighs. Exhale, roll all the way back down. We're going to come down to all fours now, bend your knees to get your hands down and step back onto all fours. We're going to do rhomboid push-ups, make sure you're happy with your alignment. 3 rhomboid push-ups. When you've done 3 of those, it's 3 forearm push-ups, so bending the elbows. Remember, bottom's not travelling back. Shoulder blades are staying nice and wide. When you've done your 3 push-ups, we're going to go into that lunge. So come on up to kneeling. Step 1 leg forwards. Find that neutral pelvis and shift the whole thing slightly forwards. 3 circles with the same arm as leg that's forwards. Circle around. Again, you can go nice and slow, you can go a little bit more quickly. Whatever works for you. I kind of like to move with the breath. When you've done 3 circles in one direction, don't forget to switch and go the other way. And when you've done 3 in each direction on one leg, we're going to switch and do the same on the other side. Again, taking time to make sure you're happy with your pelvis And that front leg position, shifting forwards, and then circling your arm. Really reach that arm. It's not just kind of a floppy, kind of just like swing. Reach. And then reverse that circle, go the other way, reach, making that arm as long as you can. And when you've done 3 of those in each direction, you're going to go back into your child's pose again. You're going to step your leg back, take your bottom back towards your heels and reach your arms forwards. Make sure there's enough space between your hands. We're going to do our little baby cobra coming forwards. When you're ready, on your next inhale, come up through all 4s and lowering your hips and lifting your chest. Exhale as you take it back. We're going to do 3. When you're ready, inhaling as you come forwards and lift your chest. And exhale to go back. One more time here. And then when you go back into child's pose, this time you're going to stay there for a breath. And then we're going to come forwards again and into your back extension position. So lowering yourself down with control. Find that happy position for hands and shoulders. Pubic bone anchored, tailbone slightly tucked. We're going to do 3 back extensions here. So inhale as you come up and exhale to lower back down. Use your breath. If you let the movement flow with your breath, it's much more relaxing. It's kind of almost a little bit like meditation, like a moving meditation. And lower down. As you've done those 3, you're going to push yourself up and back again, back into your child's pose. Little stretch for your back. Okay, and then we're going to come forwards onto all 4s. Tuck your toes under for downward facing dog. When you're ready, elbow pits forwards, pack your bottom up towards the ceiling and pedal your feet again here. Keep thinking about the shoulders, not allowing your shoulders to collapse. And then again, you're either going to walk your feet to your hands or walk your hands to your feet, whichever works for you. But coming forwards, hanging over your legs again, nice soft legs. We're going to do that halfway lift again. When you're ready, inhale, slide your hands up your legs, find that flat back position, and then exhale to round back down. Inhale again, start to roll yourself up, start to open your arms out. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling, bring your hands together, and then exhale as you bring your hands all the way down through centre and release. How are we doing? Should we do one more round? So feet hip width apart. Kind of once you've done it a few times, it starts to flow a little bit. You start to coordinate your breath and things, and it starts to get better and easier and nicer. And this is supposed to warm you up as well. So sun salutation is supposed to generate heat in your body. Yeah, it's a really nice way to move. Okay. Feet hip width apart. Just take a moment again to connect with your breath. Just take a few breaths. Notice how your body feels. Notice if you can feel that heat through your body. It's supposed to energize you, make you feel really good. Let's see how we do. Let's do one more time. As you inhale, open your arms out, reaching up towards the ceiling. Bring your hands together, grow tall. Exhale, open your arms out, forward fold, and then come all the way down if that's available to you, soft knees. Inhale, I'm going to slide the hands up the thighs, find that flat back position, and exhale as you round back down again. Breathing normally, you're going to bend your knees, bring your hands down and come down onto all 4s. 3 rhomboid push-ups. Are you ready? Squeeze those shoulder blades and press them wide. Squeeze and press. Squeeze and press. 4-arm push-ups. Elbow pits forwards. Bend your elbows and straighten 3 times. Good. As you've done those 3, you're going to come off your hands and step one leg forwards into lunge. Find your setup. Shift slightly forwards, arm circles, again 3 times in each direction. Reaching that arm as well. Trying to create as much length and as much space through your body so it's not just swinging, enjoying itself, it's working. As you've done 3 in each direction, you're going to step back and switch to the other side. Again, taking a moment to get your alignment here. And when you're happy, you're going to do your 3 circles in each direction on this side. Keep a check on those ribs, especially as you circle your arm up and over. Those ribs will often want to lead the way. And when you have done your 3 in each direction, you're going to step your leg back into child's pose. Bottom back towards your heels and reaching forwards. Just hold for a breath. Make sure you've got enough space between your hands. And come forwards into our little baby cobra when you're ready. Up through all fours, lowering your hips and lifting your chest. Exhale to go back. Use your breath again here. So you're going to inhale as you come forwards. And exhale to go back. Do one more time. And as you go back into child's pose, hold there for a moment. Going to come forwards into our back extension next when you're ready. Come forwards and all the way down. Nice and controlled. Alright, so find your hand position that works for you. Pubic bone anchored, tailbone slightly tilted. And you're going to come up, inhale to come up, and exhale to lower back down 3 times. And when you've done your 3 of those, you're going to go back into your child's pose again. And when you're ready, coming up onto all fours, tuck your toes under, get those elbow pits forwards. We're going into downward facing dog. Back your bottom up towards the ceiling and pedal your feet. And then again, either walk your hands to your feet or walk your feet to your hands, whichever way you're going to do it. And then you're going to hang over your legs. We're going to do our halfway lift, so as you inhale, find that flat back position. And then exhale to soften back down again. Inhale, you're going to roll yourself up, start to open your arms out and up towards the ceiling. Grow tall. Hands come together, and then exhale, bring your hands down through centre, and then just release, and then just stand and just take again a few breaths, checking in with your body, notice how it feels, again thinking about that. Do you have more energy? Do you feel more awake? Do you feel more heat through your body? How does it feel? We're going to come down onto the back now. So we're going to do some nice stretches and releases now. So come on down onto your back. And lie down with your knees bent and your feet flat. If you need something under your head to help your alignment, feel free to pop your cushion, your block, whatever you've got. And we're going to do a spine twist now. So take your arms out to the side, palms facing up towards the ceiling. Bring your feet and knees together. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, allow both knees to roll to one side. Inhale as you come through centre, and exhale, take it over. Keep going. Inhale through centre, and exhale, take it over. So a little bit of a twist. Keeping your ribcage anchored. Again, use your breath. So you can either keep your arms out into this T position, or you can hold onto your legs, but bring your legs in towards your chest, so either arms stay out or hold onto your legs, and again just rock side to side here. Good. Alright. Grabbing hold of your right leg now, let your left foot come back down onto the floor and pull your right knee into your chest. Try and keep your pelvis anchored. And then straighten your right leg to the ceiling. Let's point and flex that right leg, that right foot even. And then circling your right foot around. Let's do 5 circles in each direction. Now when you've done this, you're just going to pull your knee into your chest again, get a good deep stretch into your hip. And then releasing that leg. Let's do the same on the other side. Pull that left leg in. Again, trying to keep your pelvis anchored. So notice if you've pulled that leg in really towards you, has your pelvis had to tip back? Try and get it anchored. And then straightening your leg up towards the ceiling, keep hold of it. And again, let's point and flex that left foot this time. Get as much movement through your ankle as you can. And then do your little circles on this side. So again, about 5 in each direction. When you're ready, pull your knee into your chest again. A little stretch. Release that leg down. Let's go into the cobbler. Soles of the feet together, knees roll out to the sides. Allowing your hips to open, releasing tension through your inner thighs. Couple of breaths here. And then reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Let's do our finger and hand stretches. Interlace your fingers and turn your hands over. Press your palms to the ceiling. Keeping those ribs down. Start to take your arms overhead. So notice if those ribs are trying to sneak up. Keep them down. Pressing into your hands, stretching through your shoulders. Just hold for a breath or two. And then when you're ready, slowly bring your hands back up towards the ceiling. Bring your fingers apart. Give your fingers a wriggle. Circle your wrists around. And reverse, go the other way. And then gently pulling each finger in turn back to stretch out your fingers. When you've done them all, just give them a little wriggle again. And then just lowering your hands down. And bring your knees back in towards the ceiling. Grab your strap. Let's do the strap stretch next. So popping your strap around one foot. The leg in the strap is as straight as possible. The other leg is out free. Pressing both heels away from you, pulling the front of the foot towards you. And then do your little scan to check for tension. So notice if you're frowning, if there's a lot of tension through your face, can you let your face relax? Can you let your jaw relax? Are you gripping through your neck and shoulders? Can you find some softness there? That leg that's in the strap is just floppy. You're holding it in place with your arms, so that leg isn't having to work to hold itself there. Keep pushing that through your heel. Can you find any more straightness there? And then if it feels okay, bring your leg across your body. If coming across isn't happy for you today, keep it in centre. Couple of breaths. And then bring your leg back in. Slightly turn out from your hip and take your leg out to the side. Watching for that point at which you've gone that little bit too far so your pelvis is starting to tip. So we want to keep our both hip bones pointing directly to the ceiling. So if there were little headlights, you would be shining headlights on the ceiling. And then when you're ready, bring that leg back in through centre. I'm going to switch and do the same on the other side. So pop your strap onto your other foot. Free leg out long. Leg in the strap is as straight as possible. Pushing out through both heels. Notice the position of your pelvis here. So again, has it tipped back? Can you find that neutral pelvis? So hip bones, pubic bone on the same level. Can you do your little scan for tension again? So checking face and neck. Jaw, shoulders. Couple more breaths here. Finding length and space down the back of your leg. And then if it feels okay, bringing your leg across. Here we're working more the outer thigh. if you're ready, bring your leg back in through centre, slightly turn out from your hip and take your leg out to the side. Couple more breaths. And then when you're ready, bring your leg back up towards the ceiling and just get rid of your strap. You can pop your strap down. Lengthen your legs out long, reach your arms overhead and stretch from fingertips to toes, making yourself as long as you can. Now we're going to go into our crescent stretch from here, so walk your legs to your right and then walk your arms and upper body also to the right. And then if you want to, you can increase that stretch by picking up your left leg and crossing your left ankle over your right. And then with your right hand, you can hold onto your left wrist, just give it a little pull, just to increase the stretch through your upper body. Take some deep breaths there, so slowing your breath down. Trying to get as much air in with every breath as you can. But also using that air to increase the stretch. So by taking a lot of air in, you're kind of forcing is not the word I want to use, but you're making your ribcage expand even more, so you're getting that stretch from inside by using your breath, rather than just putting your body into a certain position and stretching from the outside. Making sure those ribs aren't popping up towards the ceiling though. If you're arching your back and your ribs are lifting, pop a cushion under your head. Find enough space to allow your ribs to relax down. And then we're going to release the arms first, so just release your arms, bring your arms down first. Walk your legs in through centre. Let's go over to the other side, so walk your legs to the left. Take your arms up and overhead and walk your arms and upper body also to the left, so again you're in that banana shape. Either stay here or picking up your right leg, cross your right ankle over your left. And if you want to have the upper body with your left hand, grab your right wrist, give it a pull. Take some deep breaths there. Just noticing, is it different on this side? Watching for those ribs trying to lift. And then when you're ready, release your arms, walk your legs back in through centre. Moving slowly, bending your knees one at a time. You're going to pull your knees into your chest. Give your knees a little hug and just rock gently side to side. Let your feet come back down onto the floor again. And this time you're going to take your feet and knees wide, so we're going to go to the edges of your mat for windscreen wipers. Open your arms out to the sides again, palms facing up towards the ceiling. Take a breath. As you exhale, allow both knees to roll to one side. Inhale as you come through centre and exhale over to the other side. So just move nice and slow with the speed of your breath. So having your legs in this wide windscreen wiper position as opposed to having them squeezed together is just going to give you more movement through your hips. And then as you come through centre this time, you're going to walk your feet in a little bit closer to each other, and we're going to come up and go onto all fours now. So come on up and let's go back onto all fours. We're going to do cat-cow. As always, on all fours, fingers spread wide, thumbs pointing at each other and elbow pits are forwards. Take a breath. As you exhale, you're going to tuck your bottom under and roll through your spine. So try and make your spine as rounded as you can. Your head is the last thing to move. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, let's go the other way. Stick your bottom out. Roll through lower back, middle back, upper back, and again, head is the last thing to move. Go at the flow and the speed of your own breath. Always starting at your tailbone and finishing at your head. Think about that movement rippling up your spine like a wave. As you come through centre this time, you're going to come down onto your elbows for thread the needle. So we're going to come down onto our elbows. Take your left elbow, just take it out to the side a couple of inches to give you some more space. Take your right hand and you're going to thread your right hand palm up behind your left elbow and allow your upper body to twist. Now if you've got enough room, you can allow your right shoulder and your right ear to come down to the floor, but if it doesn't reach, you can have it hovering off the floor, or you can grab yourself a cushion or something to pop under your head if you wish. Hold here, reaching that right arm through, trying to get a big twist and stretch through your upper back and shoulders. Hold for a couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back through. And you're going to take your right arm out to the side a couple of inches. Again, just gives you some more space. Left arm, palm faces up, is going to thread behind your right elbow, and again you're going to allow your body to twist. Is it the same on this side? Does it feel different on this side? Just notice. Keep reaching your arm through, take a couple of breaths. And when you're ready, bring your arm back through. You're going to take your bottom all the way back to your heels, back into child's pose. Reach your arms as far forwards as you can. And here, just bringing your awareness back to your breath. So taking those deep breaths. Can you find that expansion of your rib cage through your back now? How much movement can you get through your back with every breath? When you're ready, you can slowly bring yourself all the way back up, all the way back up to seated. Just take a moment when you get to seated to just give your shoulders a little roll, a couple of times in each direction. And maybe just gently turn your head side to side. And you are done.